Hey, how's it going? It's Carl, aka Carl Drum Tech. I'm here right now in the city of Beverly Hills, and this awesome monument right behind me is the Beverly Hills City Hall. And what I want to talk about today is creating a winning culture in your drumline, even just as small as your section, or it can be in your marching band, color guard, or even in your business. Like if you go on and go into your professional life, you're gonna have teams, you're gonna have companies, and you want to create a winning culture. Now, notice I said I didn't say best culture, right? Just something that's like where everybody's kind of feeling like they're winning, or that they can win at whatever it is that they do or set out to accomplish, right? So what truly is, or what constitutes a winning culture? Well, obviously you want to make sure that you don't have a culture that is very toxic, where people kind of like hurt each other, throw each other on the bus, or just especially you see this a lot in high school situations where people just kind of like don't take things very seriously. They mess around, and they're just not overall have this mentality of being really good because they don't care to be good. They just want to mess around. Maybe just like they really just don't care, right? And for some of us, right, who maybe we come in and we have this mentality like, no, we expect better than that. We think we can achieve more. And how do we get everybody else to go along that bandwagon, so to speak, of making sure that we're all like ready to go and are ready to win? That starts with culture, right? And culture is something that is cultivated over time. Whenever you think about any kind of culture in the history of the world, culture is created over a long period of time, over a series of traditions and like just kinds of like little things that make it very unique to that culture, right? Whether it's separated by geography or language, or just and just it's expressed in many different ways, whether it's through food, music, dance, whatever the case may be, right? There's certainly different kinds of cultures, right? Now you can certainly, in a competitive marching band or drumline or color guard situation, or even like business situation where people kind of like don't have a winning mentality, where maybe they don't take things very seriously and they just kind of like they don't care, right? So for those of us who really care and want to do more, how do we get everybody on board on that winning culture? Well, I think that in order to do that, we need to start small, right? So let's say that your group, whether that's your marching band, drumline, section, whatever the case may be, maybe the majority is people who are not taking things seriously, right? So like, I mean, the way I look at it is that if you are the minority, you kind of have to start small, and you kind of have to start with one person at a time. Meaning, you have to get at least one person on your side to be like, yo, we're gonna create this whole new culture. You have to say that, right? We're gonna create this whole new mentality where you and me, we're gonna set the example, we're gonna kick butt, we're gonna execute at a high level, we're gonna practice our butts off, and we're gonna take everything seriously. Not everything seriously, but just like we're going to like want to work hard and have this mentality of like, we're not messing around during rehearsal time, let's go get shit done, all right? So that's the mentality you want to create between you and this other person. Now, hopefully, other people see you too as something to emulate and be like, wow, these two guys are really serious and they're starting to get really good, hopefully is what they see, that maybe they want to join that bandwagon, right? Now, in some cases, they may not want to still do that. They just might think you're two crazy guys, like, just like, not being with the rest of the group in terms of just like messing around and not taking things seriously, right? So what you do is you have to keep building from there. So after you get one person, you have to get another person on board, and you need those, you and the other, and your first initial friend who was into it to kind of convince another person. Now, it's usually a lot easier to try to convince somebody who is younger. Like let's say, like a freshman or an 8th grader. These guys, they don't really know what they're getting into, so they don't understand what the culture is other than what they see right in front of them. And if they see, right, the culture that you don't want them to see, the bad culture, the losing culture, right, where they don't take things seriously, then they will slowly start to emulate that as, oh, well, this is what's okay, this is what's acceptable. And then they're gonna fall into that culture. But if you recruit them early and you get to them early and be like, yo, we're gonna have so much fun, like kicking butt, like let's go, like join our little group here, and we're gonna take things seriously. You know, we'll mentor you. We'll like have lunch with you, stuff like that. Just befriend them, right? Kind of create an ally out of this younger person. Then again, right, you're slowly building your sphere of influence. You're slowly starting to build your own mini culture or subculture within the grand culture, right? And then you keep on building from there. Now, the advantage with getting this younger person on board is that once you establish this culture, they're going to start to carry that over into the next years, and then from then on, the new culture starts to take over, right? Now, I can speak from experience in being in a winning culture and in a losing culture, in that, like, you know, when I was in Drumline, when I was in marching band, you know, the marching band kind of had like a not take things very seriously culture, but the Drumline was absolutely take things very seriously. We worked hard, we practiced hard, and we were all about being good and winning. And at the same time, right, I was involved in teaching a Drumline that had a very bad culture, because when I first started teaching, we were winning, we were like, you know, we were really good, and then had a really quick drop off as soon as people started quitting and they didn't like the way I taught, because, you know, I was so strict. That's another story for another video. But, you know, they all quit. And then, you know, I kind of changed my teaching like approach to be more like loose and relaxed, and kind of let the inmates run the asylum a little bit. And then kind of some kids got kind of out of control. And then it created this losing culture where people were just like not that into it. They're messing around, and it was just a constant headache for me, right? So that was wrong, right? But for me, in order for me to reverse that culture, I had to start very small. I had to start with a few people. You know, if I wasn't going to be able to change the entire culture overnight, I'm gonna have to start with a few people. I'm gonna have to start with the youngest drummers and try to get to them. And then as the years progress, that new culture started to take over, and then I can work my way back up again to a good culture where everybody's working hard, everybody's into it, nobody's messing around, and then we start, you know, we start winning stuff, we start, you know, making finals and things like that. So that is the way to approach it, is that you kind of have to start small. You're not gonna build anything overnight, and you have to like just kind of build it and expand from there. Maybe, you know, you take a little bit of heat from the overall bad culture that you're trying to get out of, and just, you know, maybe people think you're weird, or like just, you know, you're not being part of the group. But, you know, you stick to it enough, you believe in it enough, and you recruit enough people, then you start to expand this culture, and then that starts to take over. Does that make sense? All right. So if you are in an environment, whether that's in your marching band, color guard, drumline, or business, right, or a team, okay, if you want to be the catalyst that starts a new culture, a culture that is, you know, that has a winning attitude, that takes things seriously, that wants to get good, that works hard, that practices, right, you have to start small. You have to recruit people, use your people skills, right? And if you don't have it, you have to learn that. That's something that you can learn, okay? That is how you build the winning culture, and it takes time. Does that make sense? All right, so cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Yo, real quick shout out to Popco Nation. I'm taking over the Popco Snapchat for the week of Monday through Friday of this week. And I kind of put it out on a Snap story that I'm doing this video blog. So Popco Nation, if you guys are here and watching this video, leave a comment on this video and let me know that you saw me plugging this video blog on the Popco Snapchat, and who knows what's gonna happen. Let's just say that. All right, so and if anything, I'm gonna be very thankful to you guys if you do that. Now, I do encourage you, if you guys do have Snapchat and you're not following Popco, the Prove Our Purpose company, please make sure you guys are following them on their Snapchat. All right, so I will leave the snap code, if you guys understand all that Snapchat stuff, right now. All right, so there you go. All right, go follow Popco's Snapchat. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. All right, I would really appreciate it if you did like this video to please hit that like button. all right? If you have a question or would like to add to this conversation, leave your suggestions. Maybe even just, you know, like suggest a topic that you want to hear me talk about. Leave that in the comments below. And if you have not subscribed yet, what the heck are you waiting for, man? Make sure you guys subscribe. Do it right now. Hit that subscribe button. And if you have subscribed, thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I can't thank you guys enough. Of course, if you feel like this video could be useful to a friend, somebody you love, maybe your program that is not taking things very seriously, all right, share this video with them. Or maybe you're starting this said clique of, you know, like people who are taking things seriously, and you're starting small. You have this little group of insurgents who want to like destroy this like bad culture, right? Show them this video, and it's gonna go a long way. Like I said, you have to be patient. It's gonna take time, but you know, just start with a few people, get them on board, and who knows what's gonna happen. Maybe everybody's gonna see that and they wanna join your party. The key is you wanna make sure that you are having fun. You wanna make sure that this is the way to go. And you wanna believe in it so much that nothing else can phase it. So if somebody says, you know, what are you doing? You guys are dumb. And you're just still like, nope, this is what it is. If you're confident in that, people will wanna join your party, all right? But if you act like, come on, man, join our party, please. Like, come on, I'm gonna be really sad if you don't join our party. Nobody's gonna wanna join your party. Does that make sense? All right, so cool. All right, that's, I've gone on enough. But otherwise, thank you guys so much if you've been watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off from Beverly Hills, California. Peace out, yo. All right, guys, we might as well have a little lesson. Okay, so I was just teaching my private student, and we were going over flam accents. Now, with a lot of beginning students, when they think of flam accents, they're just gonna think, well, arbitrarily, here's a flam, right? And then you put a flam on each accent of a triplet accent pattern. So like, so they, you know, kind of think like that, right? Well, really you want to think of it as just kind of like this smooth thing where, so let's just take a look at the transition, right? So cha, right? You don't want to think cha, right? I mean, without the space, okay? What you want to do is you want to make sure that that left hand, there's a diddle at the end of it, right? Okay, and that makes that flam drop a lot easier. See how that works? Okay, so try that out, and hopefully that'll smooth out your flam accents. Bam!